Amazing. I have one last question for Tom, and this is purely my own. This is selfish of me to ask this question, but it's another London moment. There's a London story here. In the 1970s, Canadian folk legend Stan Rogers was living at 509 Maitland Street in London in a small 2-bedroom apartment with 2 other guys. During one of his trips to London, which was known as a folk town in the 1970s, Willie P Bennett came down from Hamilton and ended up living there in 509 Maitland in a closet just big enough for a single mattress, a bookshelf, and it was lit with a bare light bulb. And he says, and this is a quote from Willie P Bennett, "I wrote Blackie and the Rodeo Kings at the old Rebecca Street bus station in Hamilton. I was coming from London to play the Night 2 Coffee House."
I was at that show.
Were you really?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, well, you've anticipated my question on here.
No, I don't. Could be anything.
Yeah. And I met these 2 characters. We sat at the back of the bus, and we drank a couple of bottles of cherry, and the Rodeo King fell asleep. He was a big fellow, 6'2", 180 pounds, and he was a rodeo rider. He showed me the hoof prints in his chest. Blackie was a heroin addict. He looked like Ratso Rizzo from Midnight Cowboy. After they got off the bus, as they were walking up the street, I said, "Man, look at that. Blackie and the Rodeo King. They were just good friends." It wrote itself. So I wonder if you could tell us about why this particular song and this particular artist meant so much to you. I want to put a quarter in the jukebox and hear about your relationship to Willie P Bennett.
I love Willie P Bennett. He remains something. He's a bar that I'm never going to reach. I might need a couple lifetimes. Every once in a while, you run into somebody that completely inspires you, and that you end up kind of chasing around like a little puppy dog, trying to get at their attention and figure out what it is that makes them work. Willie P Bennett, it's funny because my friend Dave Liss, who's a well-known art curator, he and I used to do LSD and listen to the first Ramones album and then walk over to the Night 2 Coffee House and see Willie P Bennett. And there was nothing between those 2 worlds that mind you, we were on LSD, but there was nothing about the Ramones' first record and Willie P Bennett that we saw any difference in. And there was something, Willie was true, he was honest, he did not give a fuck whether you liked him or not, and he was a courageous artist. He always said, take your art completely seriously, but never take yourself seriously. Words that I still live by. And there's something about, there's another question that came up that was also relative to this, is that Willie was punk rock to us. And I'll tell you what punk rock is. I know that we all have a conception of what punk rock is. But punk rock in art, punk rock in expression, whether it be writing, whether it be painting, or whether it be actual singing, is the fact that you actually don't need a diploma, you don't need the skills. All you need is desire and something to plug into. That's it. That is what is going to keep this world going. Our people who are punk rock and who make art that way. Punk rock, okay? Working on being punk rock. Willie P Bennett, punk rock all the way. And he was like some kind of hero out of an old Western book, He first time I met him was in the basement of the Night 2, and I was like, hi Willie, I play music too. and he took a beer out of one pocket and he opened it up, and then he took a sandwich out of another pocket and he stood there and he said, Do you want some? Do you want some sandwich? That was meeting Willie P Bennett. He lives in our hearts forever. And when you listen to some of the heartbreaking human experiences that he has put into his songs, you know, he can touch you in ways that nobody else has. Caney Fork River is one that my son and I do. Blackie and the Rodeo King. Blackie and the Rodeo King, where they were just good friends. You know what I mean? Been to every rodeo, and he rode on every old train. And Blackie lived out her life every night trying to sort out the lies that people would tell her. And the Rodeo King was an Indian who found the bottle, a better friend than any old white man. Counting the scars of one another as we watch the level of the bottle going down. And Blackie was a beauty, though why she was never hard to tell. 'Cause the faces the Lord put on us are the actions of a heart that love could fill. Heart to heart they're living now, Blackie and the Rodeo King. Oh my God. I'm 65. I'm going to have to probably live to be 365 to be that good, you know?